Hey everyone, Reflected here, and today I'm going to review my new WinWing Orion 2 throttle base with the F-16 grip. Just like my recent review of their F-16 ICP, I don't want to repeat what's already been said about it in other videos. I'd rather answer a few questions that I myself had before getting it. I heard it was difficult to assemble. Is it really? Also, until now, I flew using the Thrustmaster Warthog dual throttle. Am I gonna miss the split throttles? Can I use it for anything else other than the Viper? Especially two-engine jets like the Tomcat? Let's find out. Once again, I'd like to thank WinWing for teaming up with me for Arctic Thunder, my upcoming F-16 Viper campaign for DCS, and sending me a full F-16 gear. Yes, it's technically a paid review, but I stand by everything I say. I'm not going to embellish anything. So first, the assembly. I'm a complete illiterate when it comes to electronics and gadgets. I was really scared whether I would be able to assemble it, especially after watching a few reviews. Well, if you ever built a Lego Technic kit or an IKEA shelf, you'll be fine. If I could do it, so can you. They even give you every tool you need. Here are a few things to watch out for. Make sure you don't tighten the throttle friction before fine-tuning the position of everything. Don't tighten these screws fully, only after you're happy with the position of the frame. Once you're happy with everything, and this little wheel is running smoothly along this arc, then tighten every screw. Especially these ones connecting the two levers, otherwise you may have some play like a little dead zone, a wiggle room. And then, make sure you tighten the friction, because the grip is pretty heavy, and its weight can pull it down. If you tighten it enough, you won't have any problems. Also, I remembered from Red Kite's review how he struggled with the connection of the cables and how it was too stretched when the throttle was in the cutoff position. Looks like WinWing listened to the feedback, because now the attachment is rotated by 90 degrees and the problem is solved. So, what's it like? I had a Warthog before, so when I got it, I was surprised how much lighter it was. The whole base. It's because it's made of good quality, sturdy plastic and not metal. To keep it from moving, WinWing supplied some suction cups, but frankly, they're terrible. They just don't work. On the other hand, the two-sided sticky tapes that also come in the box work perfectly, and the throttle sits rock solid on the table. The most apparent difference is the amount of buttons and switches. You have everything you need. Some dedicated Viper switches here, like the autopilot controls and the HSI knobs and master arm, but you have plenty others, plus two slider axes. What's so great about this is that while on the Warthog the two-way switches were just one button in game, either pressed or not pressed, here each position of each two-way switch is a separate button, which makes it so much more useful. The same is true for the middle position of the three-way switches. The knobs are amazing. It's not a continuous axis, but they click as you turn them, which makes them ideal, for example, for radio preset knobs and such. But in the Sim App Pro, you can even select one of them and turn it into a proper axis. Oh, and you can also press them. Another special switch is this one over here. Each position is a separate button, plus you can also press it. Amazing. If I had to use one word for the whole thing, it would be smart. You can really tell by the way it's built and set up that the designer plays a lot of flight sims and knows exactly what we need. The grip, as opposed to the base, is heavy and feels like a real aircraft part. It's an exact replica of the F-16 grip, but WinWing managed to squeeze in some extra buttons. There's a 4-way hat switch on the manual range knob that you can press too, plus there are two simple buttons at the bottom of the grip. The best part is how the throttle rolls along this frame until you hit the middle power stop. Then you lift it just a little bit and you can move it to full afterburner. To shut the engine down, you need to pull this lever and lift the grip even more to pull it into the cutoff position. I love the mechanism. There's something important to note here. Once you assemble your throttle, you need to go to the CMap Pro software to calibrate it. First you calibrate the full range of the throttle, afterburner included, and then calibrate where the mil power stop is, so that it works properly in game. Then you can even close the software. Another great feature is that you can set up custom afterburner detent positions for other aircraft and save it. Unfortunately, these don't get selected automatically, you need to activate them manually, but you don't need to be running the software after selecting the profile. Flying the Arctic Thunder campaign missions with an actual Viper throttle is a dream. But in order to make a fair and honest review, we need to highlight the downsides of this throttle too. First, as I said, the grip is rather heavy, so you need to tighten the friction to prevent it from sliding forward or back. Then, the two sliders. They have very little friction. They're too easy to move for my liking. They're okay now, but I just hope they won't get even looser with time. And my third criticism is that you can only select one of the knobs and turn it into an axis. You can't change all three. But oh well, you still have every button, switch, knob and slider you ever dreamed of. And now, the biggest question. Do I miss the split throttles? To be honest, not really. When flying the Tomcat, I move the throttles together 99% of the time. Sometimes during formation flying or refueling, it would be nice to walk the throttles, but the long travel of this grip, because it's pretty high, gives you extra precision that makes up for it. And for me, the physical afterburner gate is a bigger advantage than the disadvantage of not being able to walk the throttle separately. The only plane where I miss having split throttles is the Mosquito. This brings me to my last point. Who would have known that this is the ultimate Warbird throttle? Its shape is similar to the throttles in World War II fighters. You have the two sliders for the RPM and mixture, some dials for gun sight range too. Flying Warbirds with this throttle was the most pleasant surprise. Of course, there's the physical afterburner detent you need to keep an eye out for. But you can also set up a custom profile for each Warbird and make it so that you get war emergency power after the gate. This way you can make sure you don't overstress the engine. Alright, I hope you found this review interesting and it helped you get a better idea of what this throttle is like. If you have one, let me know in the comments how you like it. Hit that subscribe button because my Viper campaign is getting real close to being finished. Alright, see ya!